Ah! Ow! 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 Boys, I'm done. What's going on, guys? We're going to start cracking on today with the gearbox in the Fiesta. I meant to start this a lot earlier today. Locking wheel nuts were on too tight. Had to take them to, I'm not going to lie, I had to take them to a garage to get them off. So I've been rolling around on three wheel nuts for the time being. But, sorry, I'm really slow today. I'm like, can't think what I'm trying to say. Sorry. Maybe I should start again. No, we're going to carry on. We're going to power through it. So I had a word with a guy. I know him quite well. I use him all the time. I had a word with him. I was there. Told him about the whining noise. Said I think it's the gearbox, and sort of I kind of tried to put the feelers out, saying, you know, how big a job is it? How hard is it to do? People saying it's diff bearings. Do you reckon that's what it is? And he was like, honestly, with these, the gearboxes are that common. And he said, save yourself time, effort, and probably money as well. Just get a second-hand gearbox, won't cost you that much. No point me buying another one expecting to just swap it back in if I can't even get this one out. So we're going to try and do that first. But he was like, honestly, you'll do it yourself on the driveway. He said it should be easy. I know he's a mechanic, he knows what he's doing. I think he just knows now that I'm just going to be doing this shit myself. So the only problem is going to be the weight of the gearbox. He said about 50, 60 kilos, and I thought, Jesus, that's quite a lot. I know I can lift 60 kilos in, you know, like, I don't know, like a deadlift or whatever, but it's a bit different when you're on your back under a car trying to lower a gearbox, and especially put one back in. But he said, well, there's one that's going to be about the same size, which is lying on the floor in his workshop. He said, yeah, that'd be about the same. Yours won't be any heavier. And I picked that up, and it wasn't 60 kilos. I mean, it was probably like at most 35, 40 at the very most. Like, it wasn't hard to pick up at all. I was expecting it to be a lot heavier, so I'm not too worried about that now. It's not going to be easy, but I think I've got this. Let's crack on, get the car in the air. Okay, so car's in the air, which was a pig as always. If someone could let me know, like, honestly, where you're supposed to put jack stands with that, like, cup kind of shape to them. Like, there's no way they go on the sill. Like, if you tell me they go on the sill, I'm not having it. Like, I don't care. That is not where they go. They just don't. It really pisses me off that, like, there's no sort of clear place, or they don't make them in the right shape. Like, if you ask people what to do, oh, just put it on the sills. It's not a thing. It's not where they go. Yeah, I know it's a thing because people do it, but, like, it's not where I want to put mine, and I don't think it's where they're supposed to go. Anyway, let's start pulling selector thing that we did a while back. So we'll get that off and see how much other bits we get taken off. So unclip that, easy. That on, not so easy. Oh, that just pulls off. Cool. This one was an absolute pig. Oh yeah, shock. Doesn't fit. Because lazy. So what's happened is the collar thing has let go, and two springs have fallen out. So that's great. I'm happy about that. Right, that seems to have gone back on. Right. Thank God for that. Right, so the next job is to drain the gearbox oil from this little bolt here. Oh, some of you eagle-eyed viewers might notice that my clothes will have changed when you see me again in this. It's because it's about 2 weeks later that I'm carrying on with this. And also the way I've jacked the car up and stuff's different and all that good stuff. But, you know, just in case anyone was wondering, I'm kind of wrapping myself around the camera to try and... Oh, that came way easy. I've heard that gearbox fluid, oil, whatever, stinks. So, I'm excited for this. believe we drain that so that we can remove the drive shafts. So we'll wait for that to drain and then we'll start removing those. Well, that's still draining away nicely and I can't be bothered to wait for that to finish. So we're going to move on to removing the pinch bolt, which goes through the bottom part of the steering knuckle. I think it's a T50 Torx bit on the one side and a 17mm nut on the back of it. This lets us pull the steering knuckle away from the bottom arm. Next thing's probably a pry bar to get that ball joint out. Okay, before I do that, I'm just going to go ahead and stick this back in. Ah, there's that reverse light switch we changed ages ago, so I'm just going to unplug that because it's got to come off anyway. Now we'll turn our attention back to trying to pry this bottom arm out of here. So I've just looked and apparently you also need to remove the track rod, so I'll just do that quickly. Well, I said quickly. It's a 13mm. Bang. So track rod's out. Let's see if we can lever this bottom arm out. Oh wow. I don't know if you would have seen that, but my eye just went straight into the brake caliper. But, ow. Ah! Ow! Okay, so I've got it out. It's kind of just balancing on there at the minute. I want to get it actually. Oh, balls, I might just put it back in. We'll lever out like that. Just kind of. Trying to get it up. There we go. I think I've got to wedge something like up under here. Right, so I've watched someone else try and do it, and what they're saying is, wedge your pry bar in there, and then there's actually, what it is, there's like a clip that holds the drive shaft in. It's like I think it's like a little circlip type thing, and you have to like overcome the force of that clip. So to get it out, there we go. Got it out, and I've just kind of hung the drive shaft from the spring. Just wanted to show you really quickly. So that's that little clip I was on about. It must sit in like a ridge or something. But I mean, it moves around easy enough. I'm guessing it's like split somewhere. Yeah, you can like squeeze it so that like force of you prying that out squeezes that inwards and releases it. So that's that. That should be happy sitting there for now. It is just sitting under the one corner of the gearbox, but I'm not ready to drop the box yet, and when I am, I'll just move it away somewhere. It's taken me an absolute age to get to this stage because of filming and the camera position and all that. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to like sit you a bit further away while I do the other side, if I film it at all, and just get it done so we can get to a point where we can move on to the next step, because this is just taking forever. Oh, small, just so you know, I don't actually work for Iceland. I used to, part-time. I mean, it was just kind of a temporary thing, but these jackets, like this soft shell stuff, is ideal for working on the car. It's perfect. It keeps you warm. It's like, it's not waterproof, but it's like sort of resistant. Oh, if you go out in the rain, you'll get soaked. Anyway, it doesn't matter, but that's why I'm wearing this. I just have a few of them like spare from that. So I think I said in a video recently, like I work in engineering, and everyone's gonna be like, no you don't, you work at Iceland. So I don't, not anymore. So I'm going to move on to this side. I think there's a bit more. There is something else involved in this side because the drive shaft's longer, I think, and I believe there's like a bracket or something. Oh yeah, here. Here there's like a. I don't know if you can see that. I hope you can. There's like this brackety thing here that I need to take out, but again, it's going to be pretty much the same. Ow! I did it again. Why didn't I learn? we need to get this this bracket here off. Just two 13mm bolts. This has been off before. That top one wasn't even vaguely tight. I'm going to do a lot of whining now because I'm in pain, tired, and fed up. But apparently, this is what people like, so that's what we're going to do. So things to buy for the next time we're working under the car. A pillow for my head. And I've got these gloves in work that have got like big rubber pads on like the fingers. Stop you bashing your hand on stuff. So I might get some of them. And then no one has to listen to me whinge like a little bitch. Oh! Okay, so it turns out that, yeah, that literally just, I was like, I don't know how I'm going to pry that out of there. I don't need to worry about that. It literally just falls out, so that's good. Yes, boys. Ow. Ow! For sake! Boys, I'm done. So that should hopefully be okay there for now. I had to like lever it through this gap here. And as I was levering it through there, I trapped my fucking like the rest of this hand in between the drive shaft and something. Anyway, now we are on to. So what I'm trying to do now is, oh god, it's so hard to get the camera in the right place. So this line, where the hell's my hand? This line here brings the clutch fluid in. There's a little connector here. Now, the reason I got this pick is on top of that connector, that like white line goes in, and there was this little retaining clip on the top of it, so like in the top like that. So I just reached under with this and like pried it off, and that should now come out. Well, I disconnected that clutch line and it's just pissed fluid everywhere, so there's a bucket underneath catching that now, and it just keeps going. And I've just seen something, I went to the manual and like it says something about taking the battery tray out, and I believe that there's actually 3 bolts underneath the battery tray. All that just to get the battery tray off. That's quite cool though. There's like a whole, I didn't know about this. It's like a whole terminal block thing. There's like a cover on the back of it. And there's loads of little screws in it, or little bolts, that you can, I'm assuming you can tap into. That's cool. So for when we want to do sound system and stuff, 3 big bolts up the top here. So there's one here, there's one under there, and one under there. So we've got to remove that bracket. They look like 10 mils. Well, that just snapped off. I just hope they don't all break off, otherwise I'm shafted. So one broke, one came off. By the law of averages, this one will break as well. Oh, this junction box thing, which although it's a great idea, I'm not a fan of it currently. Just gonna shred the rest of my knuckles. Complete the set. Out. Okay, I ran out of light yesterday, but it's a new day. We're cracking on. Now, the next job is to get the starter motor, well, at least the wiring off. Now, I don't know if I'm going to be able to show you this. I've already taken the nuts out. There's 3 nuts, 2 13 mils and 1 10 mil. And they're a pig to get to, like it's really hard. You've got to get up above this oil filter housing. They're like up in there. Oh, I can't even see because there's stuff in the way. It's like up there. I'm going to throw you up there. You might end up going sideways because I can't get my phone up there otherwise. But there you go. I think the next job is to get this mount here off. I've got a jack under the gearbox just in case. Oh. So the next thing we want to do is just jack up the gearbox a little bit. So just on top of here, there's a bolt there, and there's another couple up the top there. So I think when we jack that up, it takes a bit of the pressure off of those. So I'm going to come back to this weird tray, well, under the battery tray. The manual says to take off 1, 2, and there's another one under here. 3 bolts, take that off, and then you can get to the bolts at the top of the gearbox. Those are 15. Well, that was at one stage, but that one might not be anymore. And this middle one is, I have no idea. Well, it's not a 19, I think it's an 18. Oh, there it goes. Okay. This one's rusty as hell. I'm gonna get my breaker bar on that. Oh. That's 2 off. $18mm nut. Never heard of it. It's gonna wreck the threads on them studs. I could leave that bit on. So now I've got that off. So that bracket there, that whole bracket there, is attached to the top of the gearbox. So I could, in theory, leave that on and drop it out like that. I think now the only thing holding that in is the bell housing bolts. So that's exciting. We're probably nearly ready to drop the gearbox. We start getting those off. Okay, so I went ahead and just popped that mount that goes under the battery tray back on, like loosely, just as a little bit of safety. Now I think it's just a case of undoing the bell housing bolts. Oh, sorry. So there's 1, 2, yeah, 3. Oh, Jesus. 4 on this side. I think there's like 4 on the other side. I think that's it then. It's going to be difficult for me to film, but I'm going to go ahead and loosen these ones off and then see what that does. I'm just going to loosen all these bolts off, and what I'm going to try and do, because I think they're all different lengths, so I'm going to try and make sure that they come out in order. Okay, I'm kind of flying blind here. I've put a block of wood just under the engine, just in case. I don't know what in case of. I don't know if it can fall or what. But obviously there's like mounts that hold the engine and gearbox up together. So I thought maybe it was a good idea to keep something under the engine. But oh my god, I hate bolts that do this. It's like, oh yeah, we don't need the ratchet anymore. We'll spin freely, and then it's like you do another couple of turns or even a half or quarter turn, and then it's like, oh no, I'm tight again. F you. I think there's just 4 on the other side, and then this is going to come out. I don't know how hard it's going to be to get out. I might end up underneath a gearbox, which I don't really want. Right, so that's that side. This is just my little diagram of where those bolts came from. Right, so I think all that's left to come off now is there's a bolt there, one there, one there, and one there. And I think that's it. I think then this is coming out. I'm going to try and zip these bolts out, and then hopefully it's bye-bye gearbox. Oh, can't easily get my socket on. In case my breaker bar has a much lower profile head on it. Turn around. I might see if I can get like a ring spanner on it. Oh, there it is, it's out. Right, there's just one bolt now, which is here. I think it's just that one. Boy, I hope it is. And then, oh, I need to loosen that thing at the top. This. So in theory, it's this, and then it's out. But that is now out. Okay, I have no idea what's going to happen. I have no idea if the gearbox is going to come out. I don't know if it's still held in by something. Oh, there might be another bolt holding it in up there, you know. Okay, quick update. I've been at this for like a few hours since I was last filming. Turns out I had to take the starter motor out. Well, people were saying online I did. I'm not sure if I actually did have to remove it, but the gearbox is now free. I can see it moving. It's just a case of lowering it down, but I've literally got like 10 minutes and then I have to go. I can see daylight all the way around, and I feel like I wouldn't be able to if the gearbox wasn't going to come. Oh, I see. There's like little pins that kind of locate it into the engine, or part of the engine block, I think. So it's kind of a case of getting it separated away from there. Oh, I hope I'm not missing a bolt. It just keeps seating itself back in. I'm gonna have to leave it like that for now. I've got to go. Sorry, maybe it'll come out next time.